Welcome to a hot and muggy July 25th here in Toronto. I know it's hot and muggy over there where you are too, Scott, because we were just talking about this. So, hey, it's a good thing, you know? I mean, what else would we be talking about except for, wow, it's really cold and a lot of snow or whatever, right? I'd rather be talking about hot
Yeah,
and muggy.
when's the snow gonna come? The snow just left. When's it gonna this? When's it gonna do that? Gives us something to talk about because we have never have anything to talk about,
Yeah,
Joey.
it's incredible, man. I'm excited for today because, yeah, this was like we did a little bit of prep work. For everybody who's listening, you know that we don't script our stuff, but prep work, yeah, I think we'll do some more prep work to get it prepared for what we want to talk about. At least have some talking points. For me, at least, I don't know if you did your homework. Gave you the
Well,
topic of
Joey,
today.
we're gonna have to renegotiate because now I actually have to think
Yeah, you got to do a
before
little
I
bit of
show
work
up.
if you want to promote your stuff and get all your dream clients coming at
I,
you because you're showing your
no,
superpowers. Hey, man,
want to.
I got the platform. I'm like Zuckerberg, baby. You want to be on this platform? You got to pay to play, man.
I just want to hang out and wait for things to happen and people to come to me. And I think it's a really good topic you chose, things I would never do again when going out to lunch. Because sometimes going out to lunch, you have to like do the right thing. So good topic. Thank you, Joey.
Did I say lunch or launch?
You said lunch? Crap. I thought we were talking about like going out to lunch with people.
I hope I
Anyway,
didn't.
so Joey, no, you did prep me with things I would never do again when launching. It's been a while since there's been a heavy dose of sarcasm so early in the show. I just thought I'd pepper it in. And those of you that are watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And of course, Joey will always post the link to the group where if you're heart centered and you want to be in a place that supports and teaches you about dream clients and cool stuff that Joey knows about and us and people and support them, go there
That's where
now.
you go.
Do it.
That's where you go. So
That's where
yeah,
you
like I
go.
got to give credit to Jay Emme. I think hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right because she gave me the idea for this, and she posted in Kajabi the question, and I was immediately jumping on the bandwagon and it was so easy for me to answer because all I did was, what would I never do in a launch again? And then I just thought about, okay, what have I done in Atlas? What has Atlas been for the last 4 years? And reverse engineered that in my brain, and it took me about zero point 0.3 seconds to come up with
Yeah,
10 topics. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go through them, and maybe what we'll do is wait. Did you make a list or not? I don't know. Like so.
I did, Joey. I actually did something
Okay, cool.
for a
So why don't we do this? Why don't we bounce back and forth? I'll tell you my first one. You tell me your first one. We'll bounce back and forth, and then we'll just talk all about it. And then anybody who's watching live, by the way, just bouncing with yours, questions, feedback, all this kind of stuff. This is going to be an interesting discussion. So here's
Okay,
my
so
first.
Joey,
What?
before you start, if you would,
Yeah.
kind of let's set I'll use the word a framework, or let's set a parameter of when you say things I would never do again when launching.
Yeah.
Just kind of define so that anybody watching is like, what are we launching by ourselves? Is it a this or that, a thingy? So just give me the
I,
thought that's
for me, I don't know. I think I never really thought about that, Scott. It would be
okay.
if I was thinking about that now, it was, what would I not do? So in other words, if I was going to say, if I was going to hire somebody to go do this, and let's say it worked, or didn't work, then that would be one of the things. I think it all comes back to us. What would I never do again? So
Got it.
whether you're launching it yourself or you're launching it with a team, what would you never do with the team, or like
And
all that
just
kind
to
of
be
stuff?
clear, when we talk about a launch, it's anything we're bringing out to dream clients. It's anything that we're putting out, a course, a product, a service, an idea, a membership, a mastermind. A launch is a launch is a launch. It's
Oh,
basically
okay. That's what you wanted
that's,
clarity on.
that's just
Yeah.
kind of
The launch is like, when, how do I sell my product? What's the process of selling my product or program? Like,
okay.
how do I do that?
Perfect.
Right. So
What a cool name, Maria Guadalupe Cruz Casillas. Wow.
for sure. In this one, I don't know who this is, but hi, nice to see you.
Facebook. Hey, 1 second, because that hasn't.
I'm going to put the invite on the group member as well. If you want to just, if you go into the group and allow Ecamm to see your name, just give it permission. Then I can at least, we can at least give you some props here on the show. So here's my first one. This one is kind of a pre-launch thing that I would never do this again. So it's super important to the entire list of what I'm going to talk about. And I learned this the hard way, which is I see everybody learning the hard way too, for some reason. But that's just the way it goes, right? And here is my first one. I would never do again. Building the course or program first and trying to convince leads to buy it. That's my first one. And by the way, there's no order to these except for this one. So I just randomly spit these out, but this one I think is number one for me. And what's yours? And we'll just
What
bounce.
was that? What was that one, Joey? Say, because I've got it here. I just want to find it so I don't.
Oh, mine. So you already know my list?
No, I'm saying you just gave me your first one, and I know it's on my list somewhere. I just wanted to find it. That's all. So repeat it for me.
Okay, mine is building the course and program and trying to first, and then trying to convince people to buy it, or leads. I specifically said leads, trying to convince leads to buy it. That's my first.
So I'm just going to add to it. So how we do it. Mine was create a product, service, course, webinar, assets, VNL, VSL without first proving that something is worth investing all that time. So that was yours. So to me, I would never launch and focus on more than one thing, period. Not just, here's the one thing I'm going to focus on. Atlas, Dream Client, Thingy, that's it. Not, I'm going to give you everything in the universe.
Yeah.
If I can help you with one thing, by the way, Narcissa was earlier, the Hey, and now, of course, we have Lorna. So that's mine is, what's the one thing? So
Cool.
That's it for me. I'll never focus on more than one thing. It's too much.
Amazing.
Again.
Okay, so number two for me, and I think there's going to be a lot of parallels in the way we've said it in everything. Number two is create pre-recorded videos for me, which is, whatever, pre-recorded videos, webinars, anything.
Okay, cool. That's not one, but and then Eloise Harandens just joined. That's the hi. I hope I pronounced that name
Eloise,
right.
hey, nice to see you.
Oh, Eloise, thank you.
Yeah, she's a cool name. I love the way it's spelled and then the way you pronounce it. Yeah, I only learned that because she's in Atlas.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Joey, using pre-recorded videos, I didn't have that on my list. My next one is I will never create complex, manipulative, unproven, absurd funnels, ladders, ascensions for the sake of just making money.
So define that.
Create this sequence, this funnel with all the things and upsells and this and technical ladders and this and testing and shopping cart discount codes and downsells and order bumps and things without why it's too complicated. It's too much insanity to try and drive somebody through the process just to make money at the end to say
so why would you do it? Why would you put on all those pieces together?
Because that's how I learned to build funnels years ago. And it was all about the whole process of the lead magnet, tripwire, core offer, profit maximizer, upsell, downsell, order bump, slack adjuster. And that was the whole entire focus, was get as much as you can in the front and take them through a process until you get them to the end, then hit them with more.
So what you're saying is you're never going to do those again, like those ladder thingies, regardless if it's making money or not.
Well, I will offer somebody a product and say, hey, there's something else that might help you with it. But
isn't that to make money though?
Yeah, it is to make money. We have to make money. I meant it to serve them, to help them. And yeah, we have to make money. That's part of this. We're all doing this to make money. But it's not just, I have to do an upsell to take the 17 to 34, and then from the 34 to the 197, and then to the 997, just for the sake of it, rather than let me serve you and help you with a product right now. Because I can't consume 87 things that I bought. I still haven't consumed stuff that I bought in the upsell because I was in the ether and the frenzy and just piling on more stuff unless it makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Just for the sake of, well, what's your upsell? I don't have one. Well, you better have one. Why? Maximize your profit and cut down the cost and the self-liquidating offer, that mentality.
Okay, so that leads me into number 3 for me. Having multiple upsells. I will never do it.
No.
Yours? What's your number 3?
Totally agree. Being less
you
than
you just said you would do it.
You said multiple upsells. I'll do one upsell.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I mean multiple upsells is exactly what you just said. Even whether it's a $7 to the thing, or even if it's 1, or it's 5 or whatever, I won't do them.
Okay, gotcha. My next one is being anything less than crystal clear, fully engaged, focused, and honed in on the specificity of the crisis and the oasis. I will never launch something unless I know the specific crisis that they're waking up with that's killing them and where the oasis is. Where is the dream island? Never again.
Nice. I love it. Number 4 for me is looking for leads to put through a funnel.
Love it. Launch with or to non-dream clients. I will never try and launch to an audience ever again unless I know they're a dream client, or engage with and help somebody that's not a dream client, aka avatars. Thank you, Joey.
Number 5 for me, putting people through a pressure email sequence that is based all around my timeline. Read. Like an example, the cart closes this Friday, so you better buy today. I will never do that ever again.
Nope, never. I'm in agreement with you. You know, I'll be like, hey, this is the thing. I got this offer and some things. It's going to end on this date for a proper reason, and then that's it. There's not this. So thank you for that one. This is mine with double check the guardrails of any project, the team, the scope, the focus, because too often in any launch, there's like, hey, we should do this. Well, that's not what we planned, or that's not part of it. But you know, we could do a thingy here and a thingy there, and then all of a sudden it's scope creep. So wants to not let anything get outside the guardrails of the focus, whether it's mine or somebody else's.
Cool. Number 6 for me, discount to try and encourage sales. By the way, for anybody who's jumping in, these are not things to do. In my opinion, these are things that I will never do again. Okay?
Right. Yeah,
discount to encourage sales.
It's funny, Joey, because I read something recently, and it was an individual in the space, and they were offering you ready for this? This is really unique and different. How to teach coaches how to reach 6 figures in 90 days. Like, totally blew me away. I've never heard it before. It was like this new thing, okay? And get this, I'm looking for a small group of people, around 7, to go through this thingy. And then it was like, gosh, I got 63 emails from that. And the next reply was, so I'm discounting it.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for that one.
You're welcome.
Joey, add more value, live component, value Ragona. So I have here engage with PAFU. And you may not know what PAFU is, but I got this in the mail today.
That is classic.
This is my champion from Marriott. He's basically the guy that served up the entire hotels and resorts division to me to just go play, and honored and grateful to train thousands of their people. And we always talked about, PAFU is people are, you look and go, why would you do something like that? That is insane. And it's okay, that's PAFU. And it's just, so anyway, I wanted to put it in there for my buddy Roy. And it is, it's like, if you're messed up, and it doesn't matter if it's client or team or whatever, it's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So you go.
Cool. Number 7 for me. I'll it kind of parallels to number 6. So number 6 was I'll never discount to try and encourage sales, and number 7 is stack bonuses to try and increase the value of my offer. I will never do that.
I love that. Yeah, it's just, there's so many. I had a conversation on bonuses today, and there's so many viewpoints going back to the sales funnel guys who are, you know, add bonuses that show, $8 billion in value that you're going to give it to them for 6 cents.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so unreal. And then there's the bonuses don't have to have anything to do with it. They only have to be wanted, AKA, buy this course and I'll send you a set of Ginsu steak knives that will cut through, steel. Yeah, I'll get those, or whatever it is. So I think that a bonus has to add future value. Hormozy talks about it in $100 million offers. He says basically the bonus has to give them the next transformation. So they're like, okay, Atlas must work if the elite or the next thing or the thing is a bonus. Okay, the bonus is she's going to jump on and help me do this thing that I know I'm going to need to know once I get this thing figured out. That I kind of learned that, and I really like that because a lot of things, let me just strip something out of the product. It's like taking air conditioning out of the vehicle and say, I'm going to throw it in as a bonus.
Well,
no.
Yeah, I don't disagree with bonuses or anything like that. What I disagree with is using the bonus to try and make the sale, which means you have no idea of how to communicate the value of the frickin' offer in the first place. That's what I'm trying to say. So they just like, oh, well, I'll just stack in all these other stuff, right? We've seen it before. And it's like, oh, I can get all that stuff, then this is worth the money. That to me is BS. I'm like, if I can't tell you on a napkin what this is worth and you're willing to pay that, and then I say, oh, by the way, here's this other thing that I have that's worth $1 million that's going to help you in the next phase, and I'll give that to you for free as well. They're like, already, I was already willing to pay this, and now you're giving me this too? Holy crap. That's a completely different thing. But if you're making a decision, this is, again, my opinionated stuff, and go figure, I'm opinionated, but this is the way that I figure. Like, I want you to buy from my napkin. That's it. I don't need anything else. I don't need fancy graphics. I don't need pages. I don't need fireworks and fancy graphics, all these things, or major bonuses to make you make a decision. Because I know, because I've bought programs for the bonus. Like, there's one specific one I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this other thing. I only want this other bonus.
Yeah.
And I guess that worked for everybody there, but I didn't have anything to do with the actual program, and they didn't go through that thing to help me with that promise that was made there. I bought because of I'm getting this bonus over here. Anyway, that's not who my dream clients are. I don't want my dream clients to be doing that.
I wanted Brendan Burchard's Total Product Blueprint years ago, and Mike Koenig was selling Traffic Geyser, and the bonus was Total Product Blueprint. I paid $2,000 for Geyser. I used a little bit, but it faded in the winds. But Total Product Blueprint. But yeah, I like what you're saying, and you should go back to about 17 minutes in Notion on this and pull out what you said about bonuses, because you summed it up succinctly. It was just so clear. So thank you for that. And let's see. So Eloise is the one that said, hi, guys, that you had up there. Lorna said, knows discounts. And my next one is, here's a big one, Joey. And that's Eloise again. I will never bring on affiliates before the launch process is perfected, proven. I will not waste a second creating anything that is because part B of that is I will never rely on affiliates to do anything.
Yeah, to sell my
And by the
product up
way,
front. I'm not getting any sales, so I got to bring on an affiliate JV thing. Like
exactly.
now, dude, like, like,
I
okay.
can't even sell my stuff. I'm not really sure it's any good, but let me go get a bunch of affiliates. Now, I love affiliate marketing
Yeah.
when you find an affiliate that's what they do, that's what they understand, and they have a relationship with their list, and it fits within your dream. All it checks all the boxes, then maybe think about it. But I've done it too many times. I've created the stuff and the content and the training and the this and this. And then, hey, I got a list of 40,000 people I'll send an email out to. And you give them everything, and they change the subject line on you. And then it's like, why'd you do that? Nobody's going to open it. And nobody opened it. So, yeah, go. You want to read? That's Eloise right there.
I like the idea of giving really important value add bonus, yes, but not this endless stack of bonuses stuff seemingly worth thousands. That's BS for sure. 100%, 100%. I'm all about giving value. The more value we can give, that's how you sell an offer is value. But it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be. Let me pull out some of my assets here, my digital thingies here, and again, there's nothing wrong with that either. But if it's the Band-Aid solution, that's what I disagree with, and I wouldn't do it because that means
Joey,
I'm not communicating the value.
did you watch Saturday Night Live?
Not a lot.
Anyway, I don't know. There was a skit that was kind of like, and it goes to, you wouldn't go out on a date and be like, yeah, I was once the president of the United States. And, well, yeah, I was the coach of the Super Bowl champions 2 years ago. And just everything was the character, just, yeah, I do that. You wouldn't do that and say, yeah, I have a house on the water and I own 7 Aston Martins. And then they come to your apartment and, the lights are turned off because you couldn't pay the bills. It's this incongruity of, and I like what Eloise said. Yeah. What if they were just bonuses that you said it earlier, truly add value in after they've gotten the main thing?
Yeah.
It's like a coaching program, a mastermind, a high-end thingy where it's like, okay, I've learned all this stuff. I'm starting to make money, but you know what? I need to be around people that have done this already. And so that's my next step. But I'm not going to join a billionaire mastermind if I'm still trying to make $100,000. It's just, anyway. Okay, I think it's my turn.
Yes, I think so.
I will never again write any copy without a powerful, accurate copy bank.
Nice.
And for those that don't know, a copy bank, Joey teaches that in Right Marketing Copy. It's about going out and doing the research necessary in groups and blogs and LinkedIn and Facebook and whatever, and reading and researching and seeing exactly what the language is, interviewing people, talking to them, your dream clients, and hearing what they're saying in the bar stool moment, in that crisis, in oasis. I will never write because why would I do anything and waste a second of copy, of time, of assets, resources, bandwidth, if I don't know what the dream client DNA is all about?
100%, man.
Stop. Okay, your turn.
All right, number 8 for me is give. This is a big one. This is going to be really counterintuitive. Listen up. I will never give anyone or everyone access to the sales page. Let me read that again. I will never give anyone and everyone access to the sales page. That means have an open link button to the page.
I love that one, Joey, and it's about the
invitation blueprint.
Yeah, thank you. I know everything. I had a momentary lapse. The invitation blueprint. People should qualify, jump through hoops, privilege to get to your page, and it shouldn't be wasted on 800,000 people who know. So, totally agree with you. You got to earn the right to look at my sales page. You got to apply to look at my sales page.
That's how I look at it.
That's where I'm moving.
Good.
So I like it. So my next one is setting unreal launch timelines and not leaving a breather. There has never been a launch, Joey, and I've done a couple of hundred over the years. There's never been a time where I've been like, okay, we're good. We're launching in a week. Let's go, kick our feet up. It's like, holy
Yeah.
crap, we're launching in 15 minutes and I haven't finished the presentation. Or the
Yeah.
checkout page is still I did a launch where a guy was like, you're saying on the webinar that the price is 197 and you transposed it. You got it at 179. It was just, again, even if you did that. So that's a big one for me, is leaving a breather. And we did that on a launch recently. It was like, we're going to launch on this day, but you know what? If we launch 3 days later, we're okay. That's the goal. And we needed one extra day because, go figure, something unexpected happened in the digital ether net thingy we play in. So your turn, Joey.
Cool. Number 9 for me is send emails asking why someone didn't buy.
It's kind of like sending out surveys and asking people who are not your dream clients what they think about your product or service. Interviewing people that are never going to buy your thing because they're people. So that's Lorna saying having a good copy bank is platinum.
And Emma's staying up for this, and thank you for the props. It's great to see you here.
Emma. This is a good one, Emma. Like, this one was, I'm not going to say it was the first time I was excited to be on the show, because I've been excited 179 weeks straight, or whatever the number is. But just this one is because, be like, yeah, I think. So here's a big one, Joey. Making promises to future deliverables as bonuses.
Oh,
In
yeah.
words,
Oh, my God. I've got caught up in that one, too. Holy moly.
Yeah. For the next year, you're going to get, I'm going to create all these things, and I'm going to add this, and you're going to have this feature and this. And then what happens when life happens and it doesn't happen? And then you've committed to, it's like people like, I'm going to do a year program. Like, how about you start with a 3-month one? Because if you do a year, you're committed for a year.
That goes back to the one my number 7, which is stack the bonuses to increase the value of your offer. It ties into that. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're stacking bonuses, and maybe I'll update this, stacking bonuses and or future promises to increase, which I'm going to do right now.
There you go. As you said, there's going to be crossover, and there's a melding of the two. And it's such in the mania of wanting to give so much value in the bonuses, you'll just like and I'll give you this next piece of thing and this next thing we're going to create and the next thing. And then it's like, we haven't even fulfilled this thing, and we're trying to create something new. Goes back to my first one, which is focus on the one thing and deliver it every single time. My next one is to test only one approach to attract the dream client. And Alex Hormozy put out something for his new launch, and he showed his Facebook, his YouTube, just kind of different spins on the approach. Because, I was looking at someone's copy today and they were going down one lane, and I said, there's no pain involved. I said, but there certainly is a pursuit of pleasure here. So let's go try this as well. So that it's like, well, I'm going to try this and this and this, especially later on when you're going to put money behind things. But to just try one thing, different approaches to the one thing. That's all. That's what I'm saying, is I would not just say, here's the gift, and that's all I got for you. Because it might be the department store analogy. You may come into the shampoo to go to men's. You may come into women's purses and then end up in. So there's different ways in, but it's always in the same place. You go.
This is my last one. This one ties into the number 9, which is number 9 is I won't send any emails asking why somebody didn't buy. And then I also will never send the oops, I forgot about this thing, so I'm keeping the cart open for one more day email after the cart closes because I didn't get not enough sales. That's what I'll never do.
I'm just I didn't put that, Joey, but I'm just, that to me, we've gone over this many times. It's like such a crock of manure
Yeah.
to the nth degree. I don't care if the servers blew up or if people couldn't this. It's such a bunch of crap. And how stupid. It's kind of like the ads on Facebook is, I just woke up this morning and I have,
Yeah,
$877 in my
I
bank.
just checked. I can't believe it. I just checked my account and I'll really okay.
I just
Is
look here.
that
I'm at my ATM machine, and look,
yeah,
here's how much money just get. Oh, come
yeah.
on. And then there's the one the guy's tapping his mic. Is this thing on?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Seriously? What? Like what? How stupid. Anyway, there.
There you go. And wait a minute.
Wait a
To
minute.
your it's so funny because you're talking about doo doo and crap and everything else, and look look this one. No, not this one. Sorry, Emma. There it is. I loved your email. Have you ever tried to sh? I don't want to say because of the Facebooks. I don't want to say the word, but anyway, on two toilets at once. Yeah, that is classic, right, Emma? And I didn't make that up because that's from Cameron Herald, and we had Jennifer Hootie on, and she was saying what Cameron asked her about focus, because I'm the focus dude, right? I'm the like one thing, one thing till you get $1 million, da 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 da. And people have so much challenge with picking one thing. So did I. I'm not pointing any fingers, but I was like, once I did that, everything changed. And then she was telling the story about Cameron Herald because Jennifer was playing with two different things, and he asked her that. Have you ever tried to poop on two toilets at once? And it would be really messy. So yeah, I love that. Crock of manure customers, we can't see through it. It's an insult. It's so true. There is the odd time something happens where you know what you can send an email that says like this totally screwed up whatever, but it was a tactic. I was taught the tactic. I was like, okay, here's what you do when you don't get enough stale. Just do this and do that. And I think that my audience knows me so well because I have never really done it. That if I did do it now and said, completely messed this whole thing up. I said I was going to close on bet. I screwed this up, and here's what I'm doing. Like I'm not saying that these are never doing these things, but they're not as tactics as launch things. It's like holy crap, man. That's what
Joey,
I'm.
yeah, I agree. As sleazy launch tactics, years ago, we were launching a campaign for a hotel. And I was presenting to some association in New Orleans. And I had to do it right before I was speaking. So I rushed it. I sent the email out. And it was like, the special VIP wine dinner is Saturday, May 26th at 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, crap. It was Friday, the 26th at 8 o'clock. And I sent an email saying I messed up. And I did it again, like twice. And it was not intentional. There was some good response because people are like, what did he mess up on? But I never repeated it as a tactic and because what my people got used to with the software company was just that. Look, here's the deal. We're launching it to the public at 100. You guys have been with us forever. Use your language. I want to give you a gift of $50 if you want to get it. And I'm going to leave it there for whatever, 3 weeks. I'll send you a reminder before the deal is over and we launch it to the public. And that was it. And people got used to it that when it was over, it was over. There were no deadline sequence and cart closing sequence. It was just like, hey, tomorrow is the last opportunity and the price goes up. That's it. And they knew. Occasionally somebody was like, honest, really, Scott, my uncle got sick and I had to go this and I missed it. Could I get it? That's if and I'd be like, hey, you've already spent thousands with us. Yeah, I'm going to take care of that. But again, it goes back to your earlier one of our timeline is unimportant. Pillar
Yeah.
number 3, respect their time. And I'm going to add one here, Joey, now, is not have the chain of beliefs in place to parallel and support what we're doing, because if you're not going to focus on one thing, one promise, one solution, then we're not going to get along real well because you're going to want to do all these things. And if you're not going to understand that, you have to choose a dream client. And
Yeah.
those I learned from you as my must have and tipping points in order for somebody to move forward to engage with me. If they don't believe in that, then you're never going to see my sales page ever.
Nice. Yeah, you're bang on with this, Emma. To be real, honest, and authentic, it's the best way to do business.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this is. Probably is it probably Lorna, or who is that? I love Joey's courses. Authentic marketing, a rare thing. Unfortunately, it is.
I
Thank you
think
for
that's
that.
Eloise
Oh,
replying
Eloise.
to.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you
Yeah.
for that comment. Thank you. Oh, this is
And,
good. This is
and
great.
Emma says, agreed, Joey is a true, genuine gentleman. And to quote somebody else, and Joey's not a scumbag.
Yeah. I seriously, I gotta get a T-shirt, like, and sell
You
those things,
do. You
and
got
give
it. And Joey,
not for profit. I'll sell and give it to charity. But Joey's not a scumbag T-shirt.
there you go. So, Joey, I've got another one or two because I'm an overachiever.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so one of them is, and this has to do with uh, client projects, is not have a clear expectation for every element and every aspect of who's doing what in the project. There's no question. And there's another thing is for me is I will never launch without penalties tied to performance deadlines. And again, that's for somebody that's in helping somebody, engaging with clients in a service where your progress, your performance is based on them doing what they need on their side of it. So that if you don't have your stuff to us to do this, we can't move to the next step. So just a lot of things from doing this stuff. And I hope that anybody in here has, I'm sure there's so much gold in this one because of what we both talked about. We've been through it and staying true to that. And
Yeah.
Jeffrey,
For what's that?
no, Jeffrey just said hi.
Oh, I'd like to. Hi, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Oh, there he is. Okay, got you. I'd like to hear your points. Like, what is something that you would like to never do again? Any tips for the rest of us that we'd like to learn from you as well? As I look at my list, Scott, I look at it and I'm like, it's just for me, the launch process now is not even a process. It's more of a simplistic of. I'm just going to open this thing now for the next 12 weeks, and here's the invite type of thing. And I look at it,
Joey.
and this comes from listening to my clients, from my Atlas clients, of what they want to get rid of. And I'm like, well, that's pretty easy to get rid of. We'll just stop doing that. Instead of, one of the words or one of the phrases that comes up a lot is they want to spend their time freely, not inside launches. And they're all the components that we talk about, even just doing recorded videos, just trying to get that together takes up a lot of time. And again, there's nothing wrong with these things. And this is just my personal opinion, because for me, unless you have the thing, and then even then you would still be changing the videos. But unless you had your thing nailed and you know exactly what those videos are going to be about, because you know the crisis, you know the oasis, all these things, you know them like down pat, you're still going to update those videos. You're still going to want to update those videos sooner or later. They can't be living forever because they get outdated or whatever. So for me, it was just, if I don't have to put any energy into that and into all the stuff that I've talked about here, I realize doing this list is like, if you don't have to do any of these things, where not only can you live more freely, but you can put your energy in the right places, which is delivering and serving the dream clients.
Joey, two things. As you were talking, the first one is I like the way you put it. It's an invitation. From time to time, you invite people into your world to experience what it's like to live a dream life with a dream business and dream clients. It's an invitation. And it's how you would invite people to come to dinner, your dream clients, or to a party you were throwing. You're cordially invited to attend the next version of Atlas happening on September 20th, 2023. Would love your RSVP if you're interested. That's it.
That's all. That's all it
So,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
you're
just,
just sending this invitation out and you're saying, you know what, I like in the party analogy is like, I'm getting together with a cool bunch of friends for the next couple of weeks. I think you'd fit right in. You're gonna love these people. If you want to join us, let me know, and I'll give you more details. Like that's it.
you know,
That's the whole launch. They're not gonna say, can you send me a couple of videos on each of these people? Who are they? What's going on? Like, if I have to do that, forget about it.
Joey, there's another one I want to add that I haven't done, but I've seen it. And if I was just enhancing the list, and that's Eloise, by the way, uh, I would add not beginning the plan of launch with making it evergreen right off the bat.
Yeah,
Too many
100%.
people are like, I'm going to launch this course and I'm going to put it on autopilot and evergreen and I'm going to sell 800,000 of them and sit on the beach drinking pina coladas. Those days are over. They
Yeah.
existed many years ago, not anymore. It's got to be. Can you do something evergreen eventually? I believe you can. I believe one day there'll be a version of WMC and Atlas that are kind of, sort of, just, hey, I know you all can't afford 3 to 5 grand, but I've got this little mini evergreen course that will get you all the basics of dream client basics or whatever. But again, Joey, it's splitting from how do I help those right now that are dying and struggling that don't have, and then maybe I think about it. But how the heck can you anyway? How about we read Eloise's?
Go ahead. I'll let you read it.
Yep, the best thing I did was launch a live cohort. So freeing. And it filled right away, Joey, after 5 days, 2 email invitations to my customers on my email list, Joey. So thank you for all
Oh,
your help.
congratulations, Eloise. I
There
love
you go,
that.
Eloise. And
Love
Joey,
that.
it's overnight success takes time. We've heard that.
Yeah.
And there's got to be patience in this process. And I think a lot of the expectations I never had. Everybody would always ask me, "Well, how much do you think?" I said, "Whatever I do, I do. If this provides value, there wasn't like, well, we're going to send it out to this many, and with this conversion, it's like at the end of the day, here's how we did. We served some people, we gave some great assets, great value, and that was amazing. It was like, wow, we didn't get the 2.84% conversion and the open rate and the click throughs and the thingamathingies, and my God, that's too exhausting."
Well, that's what is being sold. I mean, like I'm gonna go on record to say it now because I want to have this on as a memory because I still think there's a huge window of opportunity in the online space because I switched 4 years ago already, so I believe I'm already ahead of the game. And what you just said is in terms of that it's all over with the evergreen. I truly believe that there are evergreen components to the online world, but I believe that we become part of the product because of all the stuff that's going on, because of AI coming into play now and information being absolutely useless. It's been useless for a decade already, but right, and knowledge is even becoming useless because it's like, well, how do you know a lot of stuff, but how am I going to use that for me? Well, then
Yep.
here's the course, go buy that, and that doesn't do anything, right? And so I inserted myself into the product where everybody's trying to take themselves out of the product. Like you said, sit on the beach, everything's coming in, evergreen, set it and forget it. And with the amounts of people coming online thinking that like, that is even, it's commoditized everything. Like, so, and I would challenge anybody watching this right now. And you think that I'm full of it. You're like, yeah, what are you talking about? Everybody tells me to go do the evergreens and blah, blah, blah. And I don't have time to do lives and all these other kind of stuff. Let me ask you this. Would you buy a program? Like when you buy a program, do you go through it? Are you happy with that? Would you do that? And if the answer is no, then why would you do that with expect your client to do the same thing? Every single person, I shouldn't say every single one of them, but every person that has told me in Atlas about why they bought it was not only because of the way it's structured and all that, was a big reason was because it was live, because they said I would never have done this had it been a course that I had to self-study, that I had to go through this by myself, even if you were here doing the Q&A part, which is another piece of this whole component, which is if you think that the Q&A thing is the live thing I'm talking about, you're wrong. There's a completely different element to what we do. And that is the evolution that I'm talking about right now. So when we look back at this on 5 years from now, that's when people are finally going to be getting it. Like, holy crap, I need to insert myself in this specific way. And then one of the biggest problems is, I'm going on a tangent here, but this just come up with it, is the fact that what I've learned now in the past 4 years of doing this and looking back at not only just how to do the cohort and all that kind of stuff, because anybody can learn how to teach, like, you got to co-create with your clients and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's not really what is happening here. And it kind of is, but it's not it's not the thing. The problems that come out of it, for me at least, are, well, now you're telling me that I got to show up live. Now you're telling me this, and now I got to be on social media and all this kind of stuff. So what I figured out is, no, how do you have this amazing, happy, free life that you want, and separating yourself from the market by still delivering the value that your clients want by being live and not burning yourself out? I think I wrote it down on today's Academy call. Where did I put it? It was something else. I can't remember where I put it.
Isn't there something called the 4% multiplier?
It's the 4% multiplier, but it was like, what does the 4% truly mean?
Yeah.
Right? What does it truly mean? And it all comes back to the stuff we're talking about here, which is one thing, one offer, like not doing all of these launch thingies and everything else, because like I've done Atlas now for 11 times. This is my 12th time going into it now. And going into the launch, I'm always doing something new, but I'm not reinventing the entire wheel. But it's also not this carbon copy thing either. Right? It's always refreshed, but I'm not freaking out going in and thinking, I got to spend, weeks here trying to come up with content, trying to come up with this, trying to come up with that, and worrying about the sequence and all these other things. It becomes this easy process because you have all of this generated content that comes up constantly because you're involved in one thing. So you don't have to worry about anything that we're talking about. What am I going to write on my email sequence? If I go on Instagram Live, what am I going to say? Like we could talk about, at least I don't know about you, but I can talk about something forever. I have content that'll last for 100 years after I'm dead. That'll just be the same thing.
Same.
Right?
I could. There's 1,000 stories to tell, all with points on how do you do this stuff, and
yeah.
So there's a couple of comments here.
Yeah, let's go to the comments and then we'll come back to this. Lorna, the big course can be evergreen once the course is proven to bring reliable and predictable results. One launch with 3 students is not reliable or predictable. No, get 100 or more students, exactly right, through the program before considering delivering courses before evergreen. So I'm going to add to that. I don't know if this is what you meant, but this is what I consider. It's not 100 people through the course, buying the course. You probably meant this, Lorna, but it's 100 transformations from the course. That's 100 people who got the result of the course. That's a completely different thing, because we can, I've seen people say, "Oh, I've sold 100 or I've sold 1,000 of these things," right? Well, how many people have actually got the result? That's a completely different thing. So and that's where this sticking with one thing, learning more. You and I just discussed a situation where me getting better at defining how do I show people what the dream client really means? How can I define this even better? And it's because you're involved every day with these conversations and people challenging you in a nice way, because I don't get this, or you're forced to get another perspective or another way of coming at it. And to me, that's where this whole thing blows up for you. And I had another client email me, and we're talking about the cohort, and she was talking about, you know, almost getting bored of the thing because her knowledge was getting better, and is like, well, I want to teach this stuff. And I said, that's the whole goal. It's not that you just stay where you were. Your cohort gets better as you get better, and you bring that to your clients. You don't just not talk about it. I've gotten way smarter than I was back 4 years ago about what I talk about. Tomorrow I'll be smarter again. And it's
Joey,
like, I just want to bring it.
It goes back to Outliers, 10,000 hour rule. Because you're so deep in it all the time, there's so many dimensions of it that come from it. I was on a coaching call with my coach, and actually I was listening to a bonus, and he was talking about the reveal of the offer. Like, when do you reveal the offer? And it was just another depth level dimension of writing copy and studying copy. And, just it was a piece I hadn't thought about after writing copy for 40 years. Just something new. Why? Because it wasn't like, okay, I used to do that. Now I do this. Now I do this. Now I do this. And again, I love this because I researched it for something I was writing. And it was, these four dudes went to Germany and signed a 60-day contract to play in a cabaret every night. And they had to play from 8 to 9:30, take a break for a half hour, 10 to 11:30, take a break, 1 o'clock to 2:30. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, they played a ton. They got paid $1.75 a night, and they had to do that 30 days straight. How good after those 30 days of doing that thing did they get with playing with each other and writing songs and getting through the muck of it? And yeah, that's the Beatles, and that's from one of the Beatles. That story is from one of them. It's not some lore made up. And again, the dude whose friend's mother had a community center that let him use a computer because he loved writing code. And so we got to do that all the time when everybody else was doing whatever. And that's, Bill Gates had that opportunity to do it so many times. And I've watched you from WMC to Atlas to Dream Clients, and every iteration becomes multidimensional because that's all you're doing. And yes, each cohort, each group of people at different levels. Like when I interviewed 100 brides for a program, I interviewed brides who had just said yes, brides that are a month away, brides that just got married, brides that came back from their honeymoon, at every step of the journey to get a depth of it. And that's where you get so much depth, is you've done this 11 times. You put whatever, a couple hundred people through it, and now they're out there coming back with the stuff so that you can go, I didn't realize that. And this person challenged me, so maybe I need to go even deeper into the dream client thingy and help them with this way. And then in 6 months, you're going to be like, I've got the dream client thingy that will help you even do it even better. Why? Because what does Joey talk about? Do things different. Dream clients, unfunnel, screw you. No. My mic, something happened to my mic.
Agree, we are the product. Yes. If you don't get that, to me, there's going to be a huge challenge. It's only getting more, it's just more commoditized. There's so many people trying to do the same thing, and it's what set me apart already. And I still think that for anybody listening to this, that there's a huge window of opportunity here. Huge, because people are not doing it. And when you understand how to do it the right way, it'll work for you. I promise you this, because
Joey,
go ahead.
I want to agree with you. There's a huge opportunity, bigger opportunity, I think, than there's ever been to share your wisdom, your insight. Not your knowledge, but your knowledge turns into your experience, creates knowledge, which then gives you the ability to guide people with your wisdom and insight. Why? Because I've been there, and I'm going to take you there. And while I take you there, I'm going even further. And it's just so important that if we brought 100 people into a room who knew internet marketing stuff, there'd be 100 ways to do the same thing. I
Yeah.
think the biggest problem is that there are so many ways that rather than saying, okay, I'm going to spend 30 days, I'm going to spend 90 days and focus 100% on committing to learning this Atlas thing and nothing else. I'm not going to be like, well, there's a Facebook ads course and I could use AI to write my course and I could do the YouTube ad things and I could advertise on Instagram and then there's TikTok and that. Oh, and there's this new thing. It's like, no, stop, period. How do you get so amazing at this one thing that will change your life? Go.
Emma is, some dropping major bombs here. Since COVID, people desire community. Yeah, it's even amplified since COVID for sure. Because I've been in these communities, these small group communities for a long time before COVID. But you're right, now it's even more, they're aware of it. And Evergreen is never completed on your own. You're right, 100%.
Yeah.
And I dislike having to scroll and scroll to find the price. Yeah, for sure. You know, even some of them that have the bait click, which is like there's no price on it. You have to click the thing to go see the price. And anyway, I did all
And
these
by the
things
way,
by the way.
Joey, I don't do this, but don't ever do the whole thing where you go down to the bottom of the page after you've made the purchase and they take it to the upsell. And at the bottom, it says, no, I want to be a total idiot. I want to be broke and living out of my car. So no, thank you. I don't want the upsell. And then it goes to the next one. And it's like, yeah, I want to be a loser and I want to never be successful. So no, I don't want this thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. You're right about this, Emma. Dream clients want the wisdom and not the AI. You know, and so this is like a whole discussion around all of this stuff. And it's so true. Like, this is why I'm saying to you, if you're watching this, that when you know how to insert yourself as the product, first of all, nobody can compete with you. And if you look at anything that we teach, any of you listening to you right now, any person listening to this right now, and you're thinking, well, first of all, who's going to buy my thing? And then I've showed people how to at least 10x their prices, and I don't just say 10x to be cool. I'm saying, like, how do we 10x the thing, or at least 5x it? But what value are we going to add to this? And the value I'm talking about is you. And if you're not into that, then you and I are probably not going to work well together. You're in the other zone, and that's okay. That's another line. That's not this line, right? And if you're into that, go ahead.
I read something the other day that anybody can win the race to zero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, they're charging 99. I'll charge 79. Well,
That's
I'll charge 59. And you win the race to the bottom. But there's unlimited race to the top because, as you said, when you do the math, and I've always loved when you do this, it's like, okay, if you had to get 10,000 people in the funnel to have 2% and get 2,000, or those 2,000, this many clicks, this many conversions, this many opt-ins, this many sales, and you end up with 22 people, as opposed to what if I got 5 people in my cohort for a couple of grand and I did that 4 times a year? That would be like $100,000.
Right, exactly.
With the same amount of effort and the higher level of transformation, because I've got some little mini things that support what I do, but it's not, you're going to learn everything I do in a course, because you can't. There's only probably 4 of the 7.5 billion people are online, and there's 2 billion more to come on in the next 10 years. So it's not like there's a dwindling market. And if you're playing in the right space and you're helping people transform, whether it be in relationships, health and nutrition, or wealth, the 3 biggies, and you truly are serving and you're putting yourself into the equation. Joey, I remember when, the whole Web 2.0 thing came out and blog became a thing and WordPress, and everybody had the ability now, the freedom of putting up their own thing for free, basically. WordPress and that, you just had a host. And before that, we went out and we spoke to people and we interacted with humans and we got together and we did workshops and seminars and that. And then this whole thing went online. And then, as was said in here, the world changed. People they want, and the live component, more power to AI. the more people that push AI and the more we go to AI, the more valuable we become
Yeah, exactly.
as experts, whatever term you want to use, as transformational thingies, whatever it is we do, we become more valuable because people are moving more and more towards this crap that's just gonna. You're right. There's why would I buy a report or knowledge or something that I could find out there for free? Why would I want the 27-page thingy that I could go faster to AI or Google and get the answer? But I can't get the answer to Joey. I'm struggling with my dream client. What do I do? Okay, we need to do this. First, we need to get into the superpower matrix to understand what your superpowers are. And then let's go define your dream client. And let's look at the avatar piece. And then let's look at this and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Okay, good. Um, you can't do that in a course because even though you talk about perfectly, can you teach this to two different people in your audience and never change a word? It's kind of the same thing. Go.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that that is in my mind here. Uh, Going back to like the value that you put in of yourself, then like you said, like you can buy a course 27. I don't care the price of it, even if it's free, it doesn't matter. And but this is what I've discovered about dream clients, and I think Emma, you hit it. That the dream client is at this point where I call it the circle of chaos. They've been, however they got there, through buying courses on their own and trying to do it or whatever, they're still stuck in this loop. They're never getting out. They're never getting to the oasis. And those are dream clients. Those are people who are in a whirlwind. They need your help and they're just fed up. They're at this point where I've tried everything else and you understand me to the nth degree. You understand my desires and all that kind of stuff. We won't get into the copy or all that other stuff, but you look at Udemy. You go to Udemy and you can get something for like $2. Anything you can think of. There's all kinds of competition out there. Do you think that when you're going online and your course is going to be the one that's going to do everything else? Like it may, but that's not the point. The point is, and even when you come to these product ladder thingies or whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, well, why? Even if I did, I could easily put out a $27 course. I could easily put out a $197 thing to do whatever I want. But why don't I just focus on where I want them to be, right? In my signature program, in my high ticket. Why don't I focus there? And why don't I become Udemy? Why don't I take the things that I have and give it for free? Because they're already going out there and they're buying the courses that aren't going to work for them. Why don't I give my things for free? Because now I've got a healthy business over here because of the dream clients. And now they're stuck in my circle of chaos. I'm not putting them in the circle of chaos. They're not at the point where they're choosing to become the dream client at the point to say, Joey, dang it, I need you now. I need your insight. I've taken all your stuff, but I'm still not getting it. I need to jump into Atlas. And I've had a handful of people tell me that. They've said, I've watched your stuff for 2 years and I thought I had it. And then I came into Atlas and now I'm finally piecing it all together. That's not my fault. I gave them amazing stuff for them to stay in my world for 2 years. I like this guy. I like this guy. I think it's time now for me to look at what Atlas does, right? So I'm reversing the whole process. They can still go and buy all the courses and the things that won't work for them from other people, but that's stuck in that information knowledge thing that ain't going to give them the insight that I can give them, or you watching yourself and thinking about how you can apply this to your market of what you can do for your clients because you've been there. And this is probably going to scare off the person watching right now who has no experience, who has no knowledge. They haven't been there before. All they do is they have a couple of information because they've read some books and they got a little bit of knowledge and they like it, but they haven't experienced it. That's the thing, and that scares off those people. So they're like, oh yeah, no, you're wrong, Joey. I'm just going to do Evergreen because I know all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge doesn't mean anything. It's experience. It's being in there. You can read anything about the war, but unless you were in the war, in the trenches, you have no idea what it was like to be there. You can watch as many movies as you want to. You have no idea what it was like to be in the bunkers.
Joey, I think we've talked about this book a couple of times, Alex Hormozi, $100 Million Offers. And I love his model in that You go and online, he has his course on acquisitions.com, and he teaches you everything. And his
That's right.
goal is to give you everything for free. That if you went through his thing, you would succeed. You could make money. He wants you to get to 3 million, and then
That's
he'll
right.
teach you how to make your last dollar ever by taking you to 30 million.
Hmm.
He's not interested in selling. It's the same thing you're talking about.
That's right.
He's not interested in, and how did he start? Like you talk, he started by going out and saying, okay, I need to find 10 gyms who I can help transform and take them to $1 million.
That's right.
And I'll do everything. I'll actually go to the gym and I'll close the sales for them to teach them how and make the money. And then after that, he was like, okay, that was cool. I learned a lot of stuff. How do I replicate me in some of these places so I don't have to go there? And little by little, how does he not take himself completely out of the equation, but how do different pieces get delivered easier? He used the analogy of if he was teaching people how to shop because it's too difficult. In the beginning, he went shopping with a group of people. But then it was
That's
like,
right.
how about if I do it over Zoom? Or how about if I make you an app? He's still involved, but it's, and I like his model. Now, if you buy the book and there's no affiliate links, if go watch his stuff, he is going to talk about funnels. That's his thing. He's a Russell Brunson and Tony Robbins, and he believes in the funnel thing, but he's not over the top with it. He does it well. I'm just saying, as far as the discussions we're having in why would you all of that the tools are worthless. The tools, no, worthless. They don't really mean anything. The tools are going to change every day, every week, every month. When you get the basics down, the DNA, the dream client, the chain of beliefs, the everything, you get all that foundation. That's not going to change. It may change a little bit. You might have to tweak it, but it's not going to be okay. They just did a major update in Facebook's algorithm, and YouTube changed it. Holy crap, we got to change everything. And they just upgraded the servers into this. It's like, okay, today I'm going to go live. It's Tuesday night, and we're going to talk to dream clients about dream clients and curating a tribe and serving and respecting time. And that's what we're going to talk about. And we're just going to keep talking about it over and over and over again because so much comes out of it. And then we come back to it and we're able to serve in a higher level all the time because we couldn't record this. There's no way. It just wouldn't be. We don't have our tribe here who helps us and supports us and interacts and shares and learns and then takes it out and goes, says, hey, that was cool. And they go do it. And then they come back to the next level. And yeah, people watch. And then they're like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So the things not to do ever again when you launch. What an incredible topic. And I really like that you did what you did, Joey, by contacting me a few hours ago and saying, hey, here's what we're going to do. Put something together. No, I'll put it together for lunch, not for launch.
You bet, man. You bet. Well, I'm glad this landed for you. If you're watching hashtag live on the hashtag live, if you're live right now, or hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, love to have you inside the Facebook group if you are a heart-centered person. This is where we gather. We have a safe community over there. I am in there every single day with a bunch of amazing humans. We had an amazing conversation last couple of days about dream clients. The thread is like humongous, the information that's in there. And so join us if you want to come into a group that doesn't push all kinds of sales and everything on you, and just be in a safe container where you can learn how to grow the business without being hammered with sales or anything else. Every once in a while, I'll put an invite out there for you to join to look at Atlas. And if you want to look at Atlas, fantastic. If not, just continue to be in there as part of the crew.
And Joey, I'm going to piggyback on that because, you and I have spent the last 4 years, whatever, building it and making it a safe place. And you go in there and you watch what Joey does and you opt into everything Joey does and you read his emails and you watch what he does and you interact. and you interact with other people, there are no sales pitches. There are no, give me your email and I'll put you in a sequence to sell me some crap.
Yeah.
Yes, a couple of times, periodically, Joey's like, hey, I'm running the next cohort of Atlas, and if it's something you're interested in, shoot me a message. That's it. And even then, you don't get to the sales page. It's like a conversation message navigator, which you teach brilliantly, which makes life so much easier on their timeline. Instead, let's get on a discovery call, and in 30 minutes, I'll ask you all the questions. And at the end, I'm going to give you an offer to give me money and pressure close you. Always be closing. Nah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Joey, for being different,
Thank you.
being you, sticking to your guns, and sticking for things that you shouldn't be doing out there that go against what everybody's teaching or what a lot of people are teaching. That if you want to live a dream life with dream clients and a dream business and you really want to make a difference, listen to this dude here with the glasses on. He knows what he's talking about.
Thanks, man. What a great way to end it. I'll just leave it there. I got nothing more to say except thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us live. We've been here, I don't know, what is 182 now, number 182. So we're coming up to 200. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for allowing us into your life for the little bit on Tuesdays. And we'll see you on another Tuesday coming up. So have a great week.